Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Backstage OKC. I'm your host, @Reagan Alexis.
I'm your host, @Fallon OKC.
And today we have a really special guest because he's different than any of our other guests that we've had.
Very different.
He is a pro skater,
Hey.
Oklahoma born.
Hey.
Yeah, let's go.
Clint Walker.
How am I different? Because I don't rap? I don't know what.
Well, we have a lot of musicians.
Yeah, we have a lot of musicians.
You're our first athlete.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
You're our first athlete.
Nice, look at that. Super athletic.
So, I mean, no.
Skateboarding is a sport. That
Skateboarding
makes you an athlete, right?
Yeah, sportish. I'm into it.
Skateboarding is underrated. Because I've never watched so many skate videos as I have today.
Do you think it's underrated?
I think so.
I think it's just a subculture that's very just within its culture.
I think you're just kind of out of it, maybe.
Okay, I really may be.
I'm not talking shit. I just think maybe like.
I really may be because I didn't know as much as I've
Because if anything, right now it's kind of overrated. Like it would be cool if it just kind of died a little bit.
I feel like it
right
goes through its phases of mainstream
Yeah,
and then not, because like when like Robin Big was popping, like it was all
sure.
popping.
I'm not saying in the sense that everyone's gravitating towards it, but I'm saying as skateboarding as an art form. You know what I'm saying? I feel like skateboarding, just learning how to
say y'all are
skateboard.
not in the Olympics, so.
Oh, that we're not in the Olympics? We are in the Olympics now.
Oh, you are?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Is that bad?
Yeah, as of 2020.
Yeah.
Oh. So is that like gonna change the culture, you think?
No, I don't know. I don't even know what like events they're gonna have. I don't know. It's up in the air. I don't know what it'll be like really, because a lot of like skate contests are pretty mellow and just kind of like pretty fun, and they're not like that serious really. Like most of them, and like everybody fucking parties and like I don't know. Yeah, it's like skateboarding is like a pretty big like party culture kind of. So with like, I don't know, who knows what'll happen, but I'd heard with like the Olympic thing that they were even talking about like waivering like drug tests, like certain drug tests for like the skateboarders.
There goes Team America.
Yeah, well that's because that's what we were talking about. We're like, I don't know who's gonna like even skate for these countries because every person I know smokes weed or does drugs. Like,
Is it more so that like skaters kind of like skate for fun? Like it's not as competitive as more stylish.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
You put style to skate.
Yeah, it's more so.
Than, like,
it's a lot of it isn't like contests. A lot of it's like what you see, like how you do something, or like the spots you skate. Like me personally, the reason I like Oklahoma is because I can go to like all these little towns and like find these cool spots that, like nobody's ever seen and nobody's ever skated.
And you do like a lot of crazy shit.
And like so when people, but they're like really unique spots because they're here in Oklahoma. It's like old towns, like whatever. Whereas like California, it's all like, I don't know. You can tell like a Midwest spot versus like a California spot, kind of, because it's everything in California is really like neat and nice and stairs, which is cool and awesome. But it's kind of like I don't really enjoy that as much as like kind of just searching for the weird spots.
Well, out here, you can probably find a lot of open areas.
Oh hell yeah,
Old restaurants.
And a lot of the stuff here isn't skate stopped really, because like skate stopping is a big thing where they'll put knobs on rails or like little like caps on ledges where you can't skate them. Like that's like you've seen them everywhere. You just didn't know what that was. When you're like, you've seen them before though. You're like walking along the sidewalk and there'll be a ledge that has these little like silver little like angle things are attached to it. Yeah, so those are skate stoppers. They're like the guy who invented them is a fucking skateboarder. Hey, fuck you, whatever you're doing, whatever that dude's name is. Yeah, he used to be a skateboarder and he invented these things, skate stoppers, and so he like made a bunch of money by like skate proofing spots. Yeah, because he's like fucking kook. But
we have to do something to stop that.
But what's good about Oklahoma is all like the small towns and stuff, like nobody skate stops anything. Like even the bigger towns here, like skate stopping isn't really as big of a thing.
Right.
Like here in Oklahoma City,
it is. Probably be a waste of money because it's not.
Well, it's just not as big. It's like it's not like you have kids skating somewhere like every day. It's like the skate scene here isn't big enough, and especially like in little towns, like random little towns around Oklahoma. Like the random little towns around Oklahoma, like there's a lot of those little towns where like nobody skates, not one person skates in the whole town. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all the time, like I'll like have a trick in like a video or something, and some kid will like DM me from some little town. He'll be like, dude, like you were in my town. Like why were you here in some little town? But like I get it, because if that was me, like I'm from Altus, Oklahoma. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah.
I grew up in Frederick and then I moved to Altus.
Okay. Yeah,
but
that's what I wanted to talk about, because I was like.
Yeah, Frederick is like really small. Some of the towns that we go to and like skate random things are like the size of Frederick. And like when I was growing up, when I was like 13 if one of my like favorite pro skateboarders had like filmed something in Frederick, I would have like lost. I would like, what the fuck are they doing here? You know, like nobody comes here, so I get it, and it's kind of cool because that's what I like to do too. I like to like go around and find the cool shit, and it's I don't know, it's kind of cool whenever like somebody random will just be like, why the hell are you in this town with like, you know, I don't know, 10,000 people.
That's really dope though. Yeah. Do you ever bring some of your, I don't know how to say this.
Yes. Yeah, so the birdhouse dudes.
Friends, the big guys. Do you bring them
for sure.
Like introduce them to those spots?
Your skater.
Yeah, so that's kind of that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've been just like spot hunting all over Oklahoma City. Like, so a lot of times right now there's not a filmer in Oklahoma City, which kind of sucks.
Wait, a filmer?
Yeah, a filmer, a skateboard filmer.
What's that?
Well, I mean, I don't.
Wait, what do you mean? What is a filmer?
Yeah.
What do you think a filmer is?
I think something to film with.
Maybe a person who films, like a filmer.
Oh, so okay, so I get interested. So there's like specific people.
Yeah, because
okay.
All the time, like people come up, you know, and they're like, "Hey, if you ever need somebody to film you, dude, like I got a production company, blah." And you're like, "Okay, cool, you make rap videos, dude. Like that's awesome."
Yeah.
But you can't push on a skateboard, like.
Okay, so
okay. And there's like everything with skateboarding is like you have to know how to film it because you have to know how a trick should look. Like you don't want to film a trick from their ass because you don't want an ass shot. You want it to like, you know what I'm saying? But like a photo, you don't want their fucking ass right in your face while they're like flipping the board. So you want you like have to know like just like the angle for like certain tricks, you know. And if like somebody hasn't been around that their whole life and knows like what's going on, then they just don't get it. And you can't. It's so hard to explain that to people. Yeah, it's so hard to explain that to people because somebody can be an awesome filmer and they're like, "I got you, man." And you're like, "Okay, can you skate?" And they're like, "Well, no, but I still got it." And you're like,
"Well,
no,
what about the filmers that have drones?"
Yeah, but I mean that's not. I mean,
that's
a drone. A drone is only useful in like so many situations.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes they're like.
I mean, but they can drive. They can fly side by side and kind of get a.
I mean, yeah, certain spots it works for it, but
I don't think a person who owns a drone would want that like so close to them.
No, actually they do. They do. We don't want. Yeah, it's you know how annoying it is skating, trying a trick over and over when you got like sitting here floating next to you going that shit. Yeah, it's not the same as skating at all. It's not the same as like pushing with your friend right here who's filming you. Yeah, you got like a machine that's in here flying next to your head. Like it's not.
So
yeah,
those kind of filmers probably get paid a lot because you first gotta know how to skate, then you gotta know how to film.
I don't know, but there's
then
not.
You gotta.
Would you not just bring someone from like LA or something with you?
There's not like a whole lot of money in like skateboarding. Like they're like you would think they get paid a lot, but like skateboarding itself, like there's companies in skateboarding that do make a lot of money and that have a lot of money, but. Like Vans, you know, Converse, Nike, like all those like bigger companies, you know, like yeah, they have a shit ton of money to throw around, but the majority of skate brands like don't really have money.
Yeah.
Like the majority of skateboarders aren't making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like there's still pro skateboarders that are probably making like nothing, like not even getting a paycheck. They have their name on a board and they're pro, but like the company they ride for may not even make enough to like get them a paycheck. So like. Who knows, you know, it can go from like a pro maybe not getting paid at all to like, you know, then there's pros that are making like, you know, $100,000 a year. Yeah, millions a year.
What,
So it's, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, with,
can you like sell out in the skate world?
I don't know. It's hard. I don't know. That's up in the air right now. It's kind of a weird one right now because I think
like if someone signs to Vans, do y'all like think they like sold out or?
Vans is like one of the oldest like skate.
Well, yeah, okay.
So hell no, not Vans, but maybe like Nike. I don't know, but it's kind of weird now because. I don't know. There's people who, you know, you're stoked that they're getting a paycheck from these people. It's like, oh, dude, that guy's been killing it for so long. Like, I'm stoked that he's finally, like, making some money where he should have been for a long time. And even though, you know, maybe it's from Nike or, like, Monster, you know, this fucking energy company, like, yeah, that sucks. Like, but it's cool that he's getting paid, too. So it's kind of weird. It's like from some people's perspective, it's like, oh, you know, yeah, get that money, dude. You know, get the money from, like, skating, whatever. And then you have the people who are like, oh, that dude's whack for doing this. But at the same time, like, I get it too. Like, I'm kind of a hater, and like there's like things that
everybody hates it.
Yeah, there's like things that I wouldn't like ride for sure, no matter how much they like wanted to pay me.
Right.
But at the same time, I understand wanting to. Like, I understand like somebody doing that because it's money, you know? Like, nobody likes to turn down money, and it's hard to be like, oh, this thing's kind of whack, so I'm going to say no. And it all depends on the people, too. Like, some people can get away with, like, anything, you know? Like, some people are just, like, that type of person, like Jaws. He writes for Birdhouse, one of my like good friends.
Okay.
And he's just kind of a weird dude, you know. Like he's always been weird. Like he's always the one that's getting naked and doing tricks. Like he doesn't really give a fuck. Like he doesn't care. Like it's Jaws. He's a weird dude. Looks like a fucking alien.
Oh my gosh.
And so like Jaws, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Like he could ride for fucking Skittles, and he could be like, "Yeah, dude, Skittles are awesome." And everybody's like, "That's so
Taste
funny."
the rainbow.
Like that's awesome. Jaws rides for Skittles, man. He's getting paid. Like that's super cool. But then if I did that, you know, people would be like, "Oh, dude, Clint's so whack. Like he rides for fucking Skittles, man."
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't really. I don't know. I guess I just have kind of a different image than Jaws. But
So, growing up in Altus, or in Frederick, how did you get into skating? Like, what made you want to start?
I grew up in Frederick, Oklahoma, and it's pretty small. It's like 7,000 people or something, I think, when I was there.
Wow.
And these pop. So I was I don't know. I played a lot of sports when I was growing up. I was like, you know, played basketball, football, baseball, track, like the whole, you know, like pretty much anything you had in school. Yeah, that's what I did. It was just like growing up. That's what everybody did. You played sports.
Yeah.
And then I was actually over at my friend Jared Grice's house, and this kid Brandon Snodgrass and Cody House like were skating by, and
Wait, Snodgrass. Why do I know that last name?
Well, there's probably a lot of people named Snodgrass.
Oh.
But
I don't know one person named Snodgrass.
So Brandon and Cody were like skating by, and I knew them at the time, but I'd never skated with them or had anything to do with skateboarding. I never owned a skateboard really. Like I lived in the country when I was growing up, and I had one of those like big dirt wheel skateboarders, you know, like huge.
Yeah.
They're just like stupid, and I would like ride around that on the dirt road, and it was like I didn't even like think about it really as skateboarding, you know. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna roll around this stupid ass big wheel thing. And so yeah, Cody and Brandon were like just skating by, and I was like, yo, dude, what up? I was like, how do you guys ollie, man? You know, like that's always the question you see. Like they were over there, they were just like doing tricks, and just like to a person who doesn't skateboard, like getting the skateboard off the ground is like magic, you know, like even me, like I remember when I was here, I was like, I don't know how you're getting that off the ground, like that does not make sense, because it all happens so fast, and it's just like, it's hard to like obtain what's happening. So yeah, I was like, man, you gotta teach me how to ollie. And so we sat there in this little like driveway thing, and they taught me how to ollie, and I learned, like the first day I sat there, I learned how to get it off the ground, like not very high or anything, but just like, you know, like an inch or so, you could get all four wheels off. And as soon as I got all four wheels off the ground, I was like, holy shit, like this is so sick, you know, like I have to get a skateboard, like this is awesome. So that was around like Halloween, I think. For Christmas, I asked for a skateboard. I'm like 12.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Christmas, I asked for a skateboard. I got a skateboard for Christmas, and then I just never stopped.
It's been a wrap ever since.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of skated for a few years. Yeah, I skated for a few years, and then they kind of did some like motocross riding and like played sports, and then eventually I just kind of, I don't know, skateboarding. I was kind of more into that, and just kept doing that, and so I just finally quit all the other sports, and
you just focused on your
and then like probably like freshman or sophomore year of high school, I just kind of decided, once I was like, I don't know, starting to get better, where I was actually like doing tricks somewhat like on par with, you know, what you see people doing in like videos, I guess. Like I wasn't at the time, but in my head, you know, I'm like, oh, I can like understand like all this makes sense now. Like I feel like I could get here, and so then, you know, in your head you start being like wanting to be sponsored and like that type of thing. And so probably like freshman or sophomore year, I kind of decided that I just wanted to move out to California and like try to make it happen or whatever, you know, do the whole skating thing. And so yeah, I just finished out high school, just skating, didn't play any sports. And then once I graduated high school, a month later I moved out to LA, and then, or actually I moved to San Diego, but I lived out there for like 6 years after that.
Wow. So how was that transition from a small town in Oklahoma to LA, well, San Diego, California?
Especially
California really. Yeah, I don't know. It was, well,
were you like,
our situation was kind of hectic. Like it wasn't like I was just like, oh, I got a bunch of money and like we're gonna move out and like do this. I had.
Like, how long did you strategize like for living arrangements out there and like?
Well, I wanted to move out there for like years, but I didn't really know how it was gonna work. And then my senior year, for my like graduation gift or whatever, there was like I was living in Altus, out on Racetrack Road. It's like out in the country, and across like the highway from our house, there was like a used car shop or something, like a used car dealership. And they had this big ass box truck there that was like a big like news van looking thing. And I saw it and I was like on my way home and I was like, oh, that thing's pretty cool. And then that night my parents were like, hey, have you thought of anything that you want for like your graduation gift? And I was like, I want that box truck across the street. Cause like that was just like the last thing I had seen. And it was like, you know, $3,000 or something. So I knew I could probably get it out of them. And I'm like, yeah, I want that box truck. And they're like, what do you want that for? And I was like, I want to like, you know, put some stuff in it, like make some beds and stuff and take a trip around like the US, whatever. So they bought that for me, graduated. Right after graduated, me and like 12 other dudes took a trip. We went from like Oklahoma to like Arkansas, Tennessee.
In the box truck?
Yeah, down to like Louisiana, all through like New Orleans, Texas. Yeah, like midsummer, like the hottest fucking time. 0 windows in that motherfucker.
Did the AC at least work?
No, hell no. This is like a 92 box truck. Like, this is like, no, there's no AC. Like, hell no. So yeah, 12 dudes in this just like rolling oven. And so I was all hyped on that. And all these people wanted to go. And so we had to like figure out, you know, how we were going to like kind of weed it out. Like how do you decide on who gets to go, you know? Because if all these people want to go, like, I was like, man, like we can fit a lot of people in this thing, but like somewhere you're gonna have to cut it off. Right. So finally, I had this idea, and I was like, all right, to go on the trip, you got to get a mullet. So then everybody, so there was 11 of us that had mullets, like went from like kind of short hair to like dudes that seriously have the hair longer than mine now, like middle of their back. They got mullets, dude. It was so sick. Except for one of them, our friend Jesse. This was in 2008, the year I graduated, like right after I graduated high school. And our friend Jesse High, he's actually from Oklahoma City. He makes you guys should get him. He does he makes music videos now with Nick Harper. He made like a Juicy J music video.
Oh, okay.
And then he did like they made like a couple Pixies music videos.
Yeah, we looking him up.
Yeah, no, his name's Jesse High though. Jesse High and Nick Harper. But they kill it. I used to skate with them a long time ago, and when I started Rainbow, what am I
You're talking about the mullets. And
oh yeah, so all of us got mullets. You know, a bunch of white boys getting their fucking hairs, cutting the mullets, and then Jesse was the only black dude that was with us. So we're like, Jesse, like you got to do something. Like I don't know, we like look at us, dude. Like we look fucked. Like you just got normal black person hair. Like come on, dude.
Do you have an afro?
No, and it was like normal height, but he had some hair to do something. That's why I was like, dude, let's bleach it. Like let us bleach it.
Yeah.
And this was like before, you know, like blue hair and red hair and all that shit was like popular. This is when like Cisco was the only motherfucker like doing some weird shit to his hair. So like I was like, dude, bleach that shit. And he was like, nah, man, I can't bleach it, whatever. And so finally we talked him into, I told him I was going to put a BAMogram. Do you know what like the BAM like heartogram is? That little like heart with like, I don't know if you remember like Bam Margera's show.
Yeah.
Like,
His like logo thing?
Yeah, it has like a little heart with like a circle around it. It's supposed to look like a pentagram, but it's like a heart too. Mm-hmm. So it's called the heartogram, and but we always just call it the BAMogram. So I was like, hey, okay, well, let us put a BAMogram in the back of your head, because that's kind of lame, you know, like at the time, like that's not that cool. Like a BAMogram isn't cool.
Yeah.
So finally he's like, all right, cool, you can do the BAMogram, and we're like, all right. So I'm like, I shaved everybody's head, so I was in there, I did everybody's mullet and stuff. Like we were in the garage for like 3 hours, like shaving people's heads. Like I just had some shitty clippers, you know, like I'd never done a mullet before, like it was bad. Like I was pulling everybody's hair out, like everybody was like, dude, like this sucks. And I'm like I'm like, sorry man, I've never done this before.
Who did yours?
I don't even remember who did mine.
That is crazy.
It turned out though.
Hair everywhere.
See, I get Jesse down there, and I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna put the BAMogram in the back of her head. So the whole time, he keeps like saying all this stuff. I have the footage somewhere, but he's like talking about Bam like the entire time. Bam, Bam, Bam. He's like, oh, Bam, my dog. You know, like that's all he keeps talking about is how sick Bam is. And then we're like, all right, like this is so sick. So finally he finished, and I just shaved a big dick, like from the back of his head all the way to the top, just one huge dick. And so yeah, there was 11 of us that had mullets, and then Jesse had a big dick on his head.
Was he pissed?
No, it was pretty funny because like it didn't matter, you know, it was growing back and like whatever. Ours looked worse. Like you could like throw a beanie on, and it was like he looked like a normal dude. Like he's a good looking dude. Like he was fine. We looked fucked. Like we all had mullets. Everybody wore like wife beaters every day and like shorts. because it was like 110 degrees in this box truck.
Yeah.
Every like gas station we would get out to, it had like a rolling door on the back. We would like roll up the door. We would like I would get out and I would like throw the back rolling door up, and we would always have that Benny Benassi song where it's like, and it would always play that. So every time we got out of a gas station, yeah, that was like the deal. It's like, all right, put on Benny Benassi, then throw the door open. So it's like we put that on, we'd throw it up, and everybody would like hop out, and everybody like had mullets, you know, and fucking like tank tops, and everybody would just like stare like, what the fuck is happening? Because this is like in the middle of nowhere, you know, in like Texas.
Why did y'all record this? You could have shot
all
this
this.
shit
Yeah,
to
we
MTV
have
or
all this.
something.
Hey, meat party. Look it up. We got a lot of them.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I don't know. That was the box truck. I got that. We took that trip. On that trip, little add-in, everybody got poison ivy. We went swimming and jumped off a bridge, and like half the people swam to one side, the half swam to the other side. The half of people that swam to the wooded side fucking gave everybody poison ivy.
Oh my god.
Like they got it on their feet or whatever, and by the end of the trip, everybody but one person had poison ivy. It sucked. So everybody's like sleeping with bags on their feet and stuff, just like
I've
we're like,
never had poison ivy.
oh,
What's
it's
it like?
bad. It's bad. Yeah, it's just itchy, and it's like.
It's like mosquito bites galore.
Yeah, and it spreads, you know, so you're not supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to put this shit calamine on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
It's
white.
It's
white and pink. But it's like very noticeable. Like it's not like you're not hiding that you're wearing calamine. And we have it all over us. So we seriously have mullets, tank tops, shorts, calamine, and like, dude, it was so fucked. Like looking back, we seriously just looked so bad, like just ridiculous. But yeah, that box truck that I took on that trip when I moved out to California. Me and Dirty actually moved out there, and we lived in that. We lived in the box truck for like the first 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah. So my parents didn't know that at the time, but that was like.
That box truck.
Yeah, because I was
Where
like,
is
man,
it? Where is it to this day?
it's still here. You guys might have seen it. It sits here in Oklahoma City. I traded it with a kid here in Oklahoma City for like a little like moped thing because like I didn't have really any use for it anymore. It's like a big box truck, and he wanted to do a food truck, so he was like, hey, I got this little moped thing, like it runs good, like I'll trade you. And I was like, oh fuck yeah. So I traded it to him, so now I got a little moped. He never even ended up doing anything with it. It sits down at some like shop just sitting there.
Wow.
That's cool.
But yeah, so when we first moved out there, yeah, it was a little different because it wasn't like it was just we were moving out to California. You know, it was like we were moving out to California, going to live in a truck.
Yeah. So where do you park the truck? Where do you know what I'm saying?
We had a friend out there, my friend Jeff Garza, and he was like the first person that ever like sponsored me skateboarding. I guess he had a shop in Lawton, Oklahoma called Notorious Ride Shop.
Ooh.
And that was like whenever I was growing up, it was when they opened, that was like the only skate shop that was around where I lived. Like that was like the closest one to Altus was Lawton. That was like over an hour away, you know, but still like where I grew up, like skate shops weren't a thing. Like now hearing people talk about it, it's so like crazy to think about how a lot of the skateboarders like growing up, that's like their like hangout, you know, or like everybody just goes to the shop to like watch skate videos and like kind of hang out and like say what's up to other skateboarders. Like I didn't really have that. Like I didn't even know that existed. Like everything I did was I ordered skateboards online because I thought that's the only way you could get skateboards. Yeah. And then once I found out there was a skate shop opening, I was like, holy shit, like that's so sick. Like a shop that just like sells just skateboard stuff. Like that's so cool. So yeah, went and checked that out one time. I was in Lawton, and typical, you know, like little kid skating shit. Like I sucked for sure. I wasn't even good. And then I was like, first thing, you know, probably like going into the dude like, hey, like, do you guys sponsor people, you know? Like typical, you know, like same shit that everybody does, like kid stuff, you know? And he's like, yeah, dude, just like, you know, make a tape and bring it back in. You know, I'm sure he was just like, will you just please get the fuck out of here or whatever. But yeah, so he told me to make a tape and come back.
Oh my God.
So yeah, for the next like 6 months, I just like got my parents' video camera and just like filmed a bunch of shit, whatever, and then took it back to him. And yeah, he ended up like, he was stoked on it, and like he started like giving me boards and stuff. Like he would, you know, just give me like discounts on shoes or give me shoes every now and then. And he would give me like 3 boards a month, like shop boards, that was like the first time I was getting like free shit, you know. So I'm like, oh, like this is so sick, dude.
I made it.
Yeah, exactly. And then they closed down. He just like, he's the man. He's one of the. He was like young. He was like 23 or 24 when he started. You know, he's a skateboarder, so he just wanted a shot.
Yeah.
But he's also the dude that's like gonna bet you $50 to fucking eat that cricket over there. You know, whatever. like every time we were there, he was always like trying to give people money for doing fucked up shit. Like Dirty, one of my best friends, he moved out to California with me in the box truck.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he would make him do the most disgusting stuff for Subway sandwiches. There was a Subway sandwich shop that was like right around the corner.
Yeah.
And he's like, Dirty dude, like, hey, if you eat those bugs over there, like, I'll get you a foot long. And Dirty, he was just like,
is that why he's called Dirty?
Yeah, kinda. He was always just the dirty. Like, he just always had a white shirt with stains on it. He could not wear a white shirt without stains on it. He didn't. At the time, he was like a little hood kid that was wearing his brother's clothes, and he would wear these like 3X tall tees, and then just have a big ass Kool-Aid stain on it, whatever, you know. So he just turned into being dirty. And so he would always bet him to like go do fucked up shit there at the shop. So he kind of, I think that's kind of what ran into the ground a little bit. It wasn't necessarily because he had people, he had like business and stuff. He just he really liked to blow his money, and but he's a smarter guy now, right, Garza? But no, he helped me out so much. He's seriously like a fucking brother to me. So like whenever he had the shop here, and even when he moved from here out to California, and he was stationed in the military, that's why he ended up here in Oklahoma. And moved back out to California, and then when he went back out, he was the one who kind of like pimped my Sponsor Me tape out to people. Like I didn't even know it at the time. Like I thought he knew people, but he would just be like, "Hey man, like send me your footage. Like I'm gonna like send it to my homies, or like I know some people to send it to."
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, "Oh, he knows all these like skateboarder people out there that he's like giving this shit to."
Yeah.
Hell no. He was just definitely like sending that shit out to every email he could find of like every team manager, which is like sick as fuck because that's seriously
that's a
like,
good friend.
oh hell yeah, like I was so much to him because he was like the dude that was out there like pushing me and like making. He was like the dude who finally like a company started like hitting me up. You know, it was like, hey, like we're gonna start giving you boards. It was a company called Forest, and it was like this dude Fabrizio Santos, who's like a pro who like rode for a bunch of companies, and he had started his own company called Forest at the time, and like they were the first company to actually like give me boards, and like they didn't last long or anything, and it was pretty small at the time, but it was still sick to me because it was like an actual company.
Yeah.
So it was like, progress. So yeah, Garza, dude, he's done like everything for me. So yeah, Garza, he lived there in California, and he lived in Orange County at the time, in Newport, Costa Mesa area.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I was like, hey dude, like I think I'm gonna move out in this box truck, like I'm gonna like drive it out. And he's like, fuck yeah dude, like you can park it near our house, like whatever, like just pull it up, like there's no parking, like there's no street sweeping on certain days, because out in California there's street sweeping, man. You get a ticket, you gotta pay attention to street sweeping, man, like they fuck you. And so yeah, got parked at we parked at this little like apartment complex like right around the corner, and we stayed there for like, it might not have been 6 months. It was maybe like 4 months, but we stayed there for like a while, and we would like take showers in his pool. We just got there at night and shower in the pool, and then fucking sleep in the truck, and then skate every day. That was just like what it was. Wake up, go skate like all day, and then take a shower in the pool at night, go down to Del Taco, walk down there, and I would eat. And then Dirty never had money, so I would there was always on Del Taco receipts you could fill out a thing and you could get a free bean burrito. So Dirty's gig, I would order 2 separate things like separately, and then he would get 2 receipts, and then he would order 2 bean and cheese burritos for free.
Yeah.
And that was like the gig for a long time. Yeah. And then finally I got a job at Active Ride Shop, and now they're like one of my sponsors. It's like a skate shop out there.
I saw that.
Yeah, but at the time, that was Garza knew somebody there at Active, and he's like, yo, dude, you should work for the skate shop, like blah blah. So I got a job there, and once I had enough, we ended up getting an apartment, and like making that whole thing. We lived with this kid David Loy for a while. We parked our truck at his house. He rides for Birdhouse now too. He's like one of these, but at the time I didn't know him. I met him at a skate park out there. And he was like, hey, like, you guys should just come park the truck at my parents' house. Like, you guys are welcome to, like, come hang out and, like, take showers, whatever. And I was like, oh,
you're
sick.
Like, finally, no pool showers.
Well, yeah, because Garza had a wife, and, like, she was all right. Like, but she was still his...
All right.
She was all right, but she wasn't, like, a skateboarder wife. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She was, like, a wife. She was, like, she didn't want all the dudes over. Like, because it really is, like, at my house, like, there are always people over. There's always, like... Forever, like I got a girlfriend, Rachel, like she's the fucking shit, but forever she already knows that there's always going to be people on our couch. There's always going to be like a crew of dudes there, they're from out of town. Like maybe I don't even know half of them, I'm saying? That's just how skateboarding is. It's like wherever we go, like I could go to pick a city and I could go there tomorrow and hit up somebody and like, hey, I need a place to stay for like 5 days. And I'll have that place to stay, you know what I'm saying? It's just like skateboarding has that like web. Yeah, that like it's so easy to do that. So his wife wasn't necessarily like the most welcoming to that. She was cool, but just not like super cool. So we were like, man, like just trying to find some way to kind of like do something else. And David was like, hey, like just come stay at our house, whatever. So we ended up like going and parking at his house. Within 2 months, maybe like a month, I hated that motherfucker. Like me and Dirty hated David Lloyd. Like oh my god, like Dirty every day was like, I'm gonna beat his ass today, dude. Like I'm gonna fucking fight him today.
What was he doing?
He was just young and just like a little brat at the time, like just
my house. He was gonna do this.
Yeah.
Well, it was like, I don't know. At first, he like kind of thought it was cool we were there, you know, because I don't know, we like skated and stuff, so we were like friends. But then he just like was a brat. I don't know, man, just a brat. Like hard to even like pinpoint it really. Like one time we were out in the garage, and I don't remember what we had done, but he had got mad at us. David had got mad at us, and he was like, I'm kicking you out of my house. He was like, you're out of here, dude. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, yeah, we're out. Like, I'm going to go in the garage and get all our things. Yeah. So we, like, walk in the garage because at the time that's where we'd been, like, staying there a lot and just had, like, little beds in there. And so we walk in the garage, and his brother, Bryce, at the time, walked down there, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And I was like, oh, we're getting our stuff. Like, David told us to leave. He's like, nah, fuck that. You're my friend, too. You guys can stay in my room. So I was like, all right, hey, David, you hear that? Like, we're staying in Bryce's room now. And so... I don't know, like, we stayed for a little bit longer, and then the final straw, he, like, freaked out on some shit, and, like, freaked out on his brother, and was, like, throwing, like, I think he, like, threw his Xbox or something, I don't know, it was, like, threw something that was, like, a big deal, and, yeah, finally, I went off on him, and I was like, David, dude, like, you suck, dude, like, we can't stand you, like, we haven't been able to stand you, like, since we were here, you know, like, went off on him, and we, like, hated each other for probably like a year or two, and now we're boys. He's like, he's I mean, he was just like a young kid, you know, like a young fucking brat.
So, kind of talking back to Birdhouse, because David, you said, was in it, or is in it currently.
Yep, yeah. He's
How did you get like in Birdhouse?
David Loy at the time when I was staying at David's house.
Oh, so he put you on.
So yeah, when we were getting along, you know, like because by this time when I was living out there, I was like pretty good, you know, I was good enough to be like, I knew I was good enough to like be on a team, whatever. So I was like trying to do that. And I was getting boards from a company called Toy Machine at the time, and it's like a big company. So that was like kind of what I was trying to do. I was trying to make that happen, and then moved out there. I'd been skating, and then Mike Sinclair from Toy Machine. He's one of the team managers. He was the one that was hooking me up with shoes and boards at the time. I was getting shoes from a company called Decline, and he had hit me up, and he was like, "Hey man, like, budget's running kind of low right now, like we're not doing too great, like I'm just going to be able to give you like a board a month now, and like before I was getting like 3 or 4 boards a month, and, like a board a month like doesn't really do anything, you know, and so I was like, okay, well never mind, like I'm good, like if you can't give me more than a board a month, like I know you're paying dudes, like if you can't give me more than a board a month, like I'm good. And so I quit getting boards from Toy Machine, and then Deloy was just like, hey man, like I can get you some Birdhouse boards, like just in the time, if like I don't know if you're interested in it or like whatever, but just for you to have boards to ride so you don't have to buy them, I can like get you some boards. And I was like, cool. So he starts giving me Birdhouse boards, and they were cool. I liked them, you know, whatever, but I didn't really like know any of the dudes. It wasn't like, I wasn't like trying for Birdhouse really at the time. But then I just started skating with David more, and then started like meeting some of the other dudes. I was like, oh, these dudes are rad, you know, whatever. And I hadn't really been thinking about it. Like I was stoked to be getting boards, but it wasn't even, I was just trying to skate and like get tricks. Like I wasn't like worried about, I was like 18 at the time, so you know, I'm not worried about like, oh man, like I'm waiting for somebody to pay me, like what's going on, like I'm worried, like hell no, like I'm 18, like it doesn't matter, like I was just trying to do the best I could and just hope that something worked out. So we went down to Birdhouse one day, and yeah, Tony Hawk, he just like came up to me and he was like, hey dude, like, or no, sorry, I wasn't there. He called me and he was like, hey,
like Star Trek?
This is Tony. He was like, yeah, he was like, this is Tony. Just curious if how you feel about maybe getting a check from us and maybe like being a part of the team. And I was like, oh shit, like okay, yeah, like for sure, like I'll let you know. Like first I just kind of I think I told him I'd let him know or something, you know, because I want to like just talk to my friends where I'm like, hey dude, like
motherfucker, Tony Hawk just you're gonna say.
I don't know, that's kind of a big thing to me. Like I'm pretty like picky with things. Like I don't know, I'm kind of, because I'm a hater. Like I said, like I talk shit all the time. It's fun, you know, like that shit. Even if I don't mean anything by it, you know, it's just like whatever, you're talking shit. And so like if it's something that I'm hell yeah, like it's whatever, like. And so I just like to make sure it's something that I'm sure I want to do, before I like step into it. And so yeah, I don't know, just kind of, I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm down. Like, let's do this. And then yeah, it worked out. Started getting a check from them, and then like what? I think I was AM for like 2 years, I think 2 or 2.5 years, and then they turned me pro. So, and then only difference between that is just like a lot of AMs get paid, but you don't have your name on anything pretty much, So it's like you're a part of the team, whatever. But then once you turn pro, then you actually have like signature, like merchandise and stuff like that somebody can like buy something with your name on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
And so
what year was that?
Man, when I turned pro, I think I was 22. So I'm 28. Oh no, I'm pretty sure I was 22. So I don't know. I'm 28 now. However many years ago that was.
Oh
so 6 years ago. So
wow.
2012, I guess. Yeah.
So what's like Tony Hawk like?
He's the shit. Tony is the best dude ever. For real. Tony is such a skateboarder. Like he's
a purist.
Oh hell yeah. He's awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Well, so you're really happy with Birdhouse?
Oh hell yeah, no.
All your teammates?
Yeah. Yeah, I can't complain at all.
You guys the best team?
Duh, hell yeah, we're the best team. If we're not the best team, we're definitely having the most fun. That's for sure.
It's funny because when she was pulling up your videos and like she's like she saw you just like jumping off of just like crazy shit.
No,
and she was like, "Oh my god, why is he doing
it?" It was at a school because you landed on a track. Do you know what I'm talking about? You were going like
a rail or
oval. No, it was on a building.
Oh yeah, that's in Dubai.
Okay, well yeah, that was freaking me out.
Oh yeah, well yeah, no, that was in Dubai. That was we went there on a trip called or it was for a video called We Are Blood. You guys can watch it. It's on like Netflix and stuff. It's directed by a dude named Ty Evans. He's like one of the biggest like skateboard filmers pretty much. So this company Brain Farm, who they made a snowboard video. I don't know if you guys saw that. I saw it. That's why I was like, oh, these people are making it, because Brain Farm, they had made a snowboard film called I can't remember what it's called now. I don't know. I might have to look it up here in a bit. Yeah, look it up. Brain Farm snowboard film.
Okay.
But so this company, they were making a skateboard film where they got Ty Evans, like one of the biggest skateboard filmmakers, and they wanted him to just pick a bunch of dudes and make a video, pretty much, because like they wanted to take what they did with snowboarding and do it in skateboarding.
The fourth phase.
Nope.
That's not what it's called.
No. It was, what's before that? That might be their Art of Flight. So yeah, it was called The Art of Flight, and that was like the snowboard film that they came out with, and that same production company was making a skateboard film. So this, the like royal families, like video crew, pretty much like their production crew, like whoever like films, because he's kind of the Prince of Dubai, is like really into like racing and like skydiving, and like he's kind of into like a bunch of like extreme shit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And so like their production team had like known about the snowboard film they made, and they heard that they were making a skateboard film. So they were like, hey, we want you guys to come to Dubai, and we'll like pay for everything. Like they're gonna like sponsor the video. So yeah, they sponsored We Are Blood. They like threw in money to like be in the credits or whatever, and we got to go. Just like we stayed for a month, and we got to just like stay at like nice ass hotel and like do like everything for free. Like yeah, we went to like the Burj Al Arab, like the big like sail, like they say it's the world's only 6-star hotel or whatever. It's like it's like out in the middle of the ocean. It looks like a sail.
Exactly what you're talking about.
So in that, you can look it up. In that, we got to skate on the helipad of that. Like we filmed. Like there's only been like a handful of people that, like done stuff up there, I guess, like film shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to like skate this box up there, and it's like literally just the helipad, and then just drop. Like that's all it is. Just a helicopter pad, and it like sits up from the building.
Yeah. So
it's just like ground blowout. So what was so sketchy is like the drive for it. Like you drive out. It's on an island almost. Like you drive on a bridge. And then you get on this, like, it opens up, and then where it opens up, that's where the hotel is, and the parking is, like, you pull up in the front. Where the parking was like, right below the helipad. And so, like, they got permits to do it and everything, and they, like, told them, they're like, yeah, it'll be all good. But then what we were doing, we were skating a box that was in the middle of the helipad. So it was like you just skated from one side to the other, and you just, like, did a trick on the box, and they were filming it in a helicopter. So they were circling around filming it while we were...
Wow.
But, like... if you were to like slip out or something, like your board could just like poof and like go over the edge. So we like stood in a circle around it, like to like kind of try to catch boards. But I was standing. He was like, I know you're gonna do all you can to keep a board from going off, so you're gonna stay in the worst spot. So I stood like right in front of the like where the cars parked. But I was so scared the whole time because that's what I was worried. I was just tripping. I was like, dude, if I miss a board and it falls down there and hits somebody, because it would have killed them. Like, it's like 48 swords or something in the air. You know? So I was like, oh my God, like, why am I right here? So you can see me in the footage. Like, it was fun and all, but I'm like so stressed. I'm like standing there, like, as people are going down, like, couldn't stop the board. Like, I look like a fucking goalie. Like, I don't look cool at all, but it's alright.
I was on the birds all along. That you guys would have fell off because I was.
Well, it's pretty big. Like, a helipad is big.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you look at it, it seems small. Like, even in the footage, it kind of looks small.
Yeah.
But it's pretty big. Like, actually, once you're like skating on it and stuff, it wasn't scary about falling off. It was just the board thing.
Well, and then when you said like the parking lot, I thought you were gonna say like, yeah, so we just like strapped on some.
Oh hell no! But we did.
And we just skated off that shit.
They did. We got to go.
Now that would have been a sick edit.
Yeah, that would have just done some. What's that? Bob Burnquist. He does that shit. He like did that into the Grand Canyon. He like set up a jump and then. He like aired off like he was riding a skateboard. He like jumped it and then I don't know, parachuted down for some reason, which I guess is fine. But yeah, we did go skydiving there too. We went to I forget what they call it. It's like the Palms or something, where it's like all like the palms are like the islands that come out. You know, it's like a big I don't know resort thing. But we like went skydiving above that. It's cool. Got to like cruise down and see all that.
Wow, so you've just been able to travel across the world with the skating.
Well, yeah, I've been to a lot of places, but Dubai was pretty crazy though, just because I don't know. I feel like
and that was last
year. I feel like
right?
Dubai is not kind of like not a lot of people get to go to Dubai just go. Like, so when I like that was like a big deal. I think I was like, damn, like this is awesome. And then just getting to go as like guest of like the royal family, pretty much, you know, like that was awesome. It was like literally everywhere we went.
Did you get to?
It's like, oh, this the line? Like, oh, they're with like the prince. Like it's all good. And we just walked to the front, and they were like, all right, you guys are good. And we're like, what? Like hell yeah. We never got to meet him though. They said we were going to, and they never. Pretty.
You're pretty tatted. I see the Oklahoma tat on your face.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
How many tattoos do you have?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I like this one though. This one.
I saw that one on your Instagram.
No, the one on your hand.
Yeah, it says trash day is Wednesday. Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, that's dope. How long have you had that? Did it hurt?
Like no, I've had it for like a year now, I guess. Yeah, it hurt so bad. But because I'm an idiot, like this girl I know out in LA, Alex, she was like, hey, I got a tattoo kit for my birthday. Like, can I give you a tattoo? And I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, when we get back from the bar, like, you can hook me up. And
from the bar.
Yeah. And so we get back, and it was like her and she had like this cute girl with her. And I thought she was hot. So I was like, hell yeah, this is tight. Like, get a tattoo. We'll just hang out, talk, whatever.
Yeah.
So we like sit there. She's like, hey, we get back. She's like, you still down for me to give you that tattoo? And I'm like, fuck yeah. She's like, all right, what do you want? And I was like, I was just trying to think of something quick, you know? So I was like, and I was like looking at my hands and stuff. And I was like, for some reason, just popped into my head. My dad used to always like write notes on his hand all the time. He always had like notes written on his hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess I could like write a note on my hand. Maybe like what's something I forget a lot. And I was like, oh my God, like I forget to take the trash out every week. Like every week I forget it. I was like, hell yeah, not anymore. It's like, hey, I want trash day is Wednesday on my hand. She was like, all right, cool. So she's like getting it all ready, and I'm like talking to this girl, and so we've been drinking and stuff. So I thought it was sick. I'm like, hell yeah, this is about to be tight.
Yeah.
She sits down. She's like, are you ready? And I'm like, yep. And I look over, and it was a stick and poke. Like I thought she had a gun, you know. Like I thought she had a machine, like a tattoo machine. But it was a stick and poke, and I was like, oh shit, like a stick and poke.
Old school.
And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I've never had a stick and poke. I was like, that's cool though. And I'm like,
oh man,
how long does that take? Because I know it kind of like takes longer than a normal like tattoo, you know. That's the only thing I know about it. I don't know. I've never really like. I don't know how much it hurts or anything. I was just like, how long is this going to take? And she's like, it's going to take a little bit, but like, oh, we got it. I'm like, all right, cool. She started. It was the most painful thing I've deliberately put myself through in my like entire life. Like excruciating.
Outside of all the falls from
hell yeah, because it's all like, you know, that stuff, it just happens. You're not like ready for it.
Yeah.
Like this, it was like every time she stuck it into my palm, I was like, oh my God, like that hurts so bad.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she had to go over every letter like 10 times or something, you know? So I was like sweating by the end of it. I was like drinking so many beers. I was just trying to crush beers, like just trying to get it over with. Oh, it sucked. It took like 3 hours. Yeah, just sitting there stabbing my hand. Worst tattoo pain I've ever had. Most of them don't hurt, but yeah, that one sucked. Maybe I'm a pussy, but to me, it hurt.
No, that sounds like it hurts.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm glad we got to talk about your tats.
But yeah, we're in here. We got the tats. Yeah, I don't know. I got quite a bit. I don't really know how many. 1, 2, 3. I got an Empire tat. You guys like Empire
We
Slice
love
House?
Empire.
Hell yeah, that's my spot.
Empire, I love Empire. I am an Empire groupie.
That's what's up.
We
Me
go
too.
here.
Let's
We go.
go.
Yeah, we go probably all the time. It's by far, I think, my favorite pizza place.
She's
Oh,
always
yeah.
like, you want to go to Empire?
Yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
The only thing that's negative about it is that they don't have the same slices every day. And that's
But they're all good though.
well,
like,
the thing is, I'm a vegetarian, so I can't.
oh, you don't count. You don't count. Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah,
So
you
it's
got a
like
whole.
if they
I don't
don't
know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know anything about that book. So
So they don't have like cheese or just like
It's
shit
hard.
without
they do
it.
have cheese.
No. But I'm saying like you know how they have like the different
Yeah.
slices every day. That one
It usually
and
always
the
has some meat on it.
huh?
It always has some meat on it.
Yeah, or like because I either get that one or the biggie, not the biggie, the fuck, what's it called?
Figgy.
No, it's like it's a margarita pizza, but I forgot what they call it. And so
Okay.
like that's like my favorite slice.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about over there.
But you got that tatted on you?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow.
'Cause you get half price pizza. I had to.
I feel like
If
to
you
do-
get it tatted?
Yeah, half price pizza for life, and I live like a couple blocks away.
Is that
so
true?
yeah, I swear. What do you mean? Is it true? I'm telling you. You think I'm a liar?
Fallon just can't. You
Is
didn't
it
say
true?
having it. She's like, you tatted this on your skin.
I really like pizza and
I
I
know.
got a tattoo yet.
Yeah.
But
But if you do, so that's what I was telling my friend Rick. I was like, dude, Rick, you don't have any tattoos. Empire tattoo would be a great first tattoo. I mean, you're getting something out of it, man. Like I've definitely, it's already paid for itself for
it's
me.
very enticing.
Hell yeah! I'm doing. Hey, look at this
So
ad
this
right
is
here.
real.
Empire Slice House. Get a tattoo. You get a half price pizza. Get a full pizza. That's $22 normally for $11.
Oh my god.
Get there now.
So I guess.
So do you have to show them every time? Like,
Nah, they give you a little. Ooh, I got a card. Check this out.
Oh my, it's
Oh,
legit.
it's got my name on it, dude. Yeah, look at
Is
it.
it laminated?
Oh, it's laminated. You can pass it around. You can touch it and stuff.
Ooh.
We gotta take a picture
Pizza
of that.
for life, Clint
Mhm.
And
Walker.
you just keep it with you.
Yeah, yeah. But now I'm like loped out. They know me now, so I don't really have to pull it
Oh
out.
yeah, everybody
Yeah,
knows
you know, it's like-
yeah.
Like I was a tattoo dude. But so I just ate there like a shit ton before. Like I lived like 6 blocks away, so it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, it's great. So I would go there all the time, and then now we're homies with the people that are running it, and now I'm like, man, I got your fucking place tattooed on me for life. I'm like, I probably could have conned this out of you now, but no, it's great. I love it.
Could they have sponsored you?
I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, Rachel, you should be sponsoring me, okay? I need a sponsorship. I need look at this ad I'm giving you right now.
King of the
That's
pizza.
fair.
Yeah, I need like a free tab or something, or we could do the half because right now I only get half price pizza.
Yeah.
We need
half-price
like
everything.
half price tab for this here ad,
Yeah.
Rachel.
For this.
What do you guys think?
I
I'm
agree.
down
Yeah,
for
that's a good ad. Okay. There you
Well,
go.
I guess the last thing I kind of wanted to ask you, because you covered a lot, man.
Yeah.
So y'all
it's
just
been a
start
very
talking. Sorry,
great-
guys. That's
No,
what-
we loved it.
Yeah,
I was
especially when I start getting
intrigued.
baked. You get me baked in here, and I'll just start ranting even more. It's
Wow,
too
you
much.
sound like me.
Yeah, for
Like
real.
that's why I can't smoke and do this
Yeah.
podcast because
You start ranting.
I'm not.
She already naturally ran.
Yeah.
You know?
You get me on something. That's like keep going back to the whole like Instagram thing, and I can't get away from it. Yeah, that's because it's
fuck
like
Instagram
kind of a big.
skaters.
Well, it's like kind of a big thing in like skateboarding right now, and so many different aspects go back to it. Like
Yeah.
because Instagram really has changed skateboarding, like it
Instagram
has.
has changed a lot.
Oh, hell yeah,
of
for
things.
sure.
So a lot
Like-
of people have issues or not.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Instagram.
absolutely. And so it does go back to that. And it's not even like I'm mad at it. It's just
It's
different. So it's like whether you like, I don't necessarily like it, but I don't think it's bad. It's like if you're one of those kids that grew up seeing that, like you don't even necessarily. It's not like you're missing what I grew up on. Like it's not like you're like, oh, I wish all these companies were like saving their footage for videos. It's like no, you want to see it.
that
You want
now.
to see it right now. And
See it
so
live.
I get it. It's just Instagram, man. Let's go.
So-
Add me up.
What kind of like do you think Oklahoma City has kind of done for you and like helped you grow as a skater and just kind of like as a person and the stuff that you do? Because I mean, I know you lived in LA for a while, but you still came back home.
And especially
so.
being out there as an Oklahoma skater,
Yeah.
like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't meet a lot of.
people from Oklahoma.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's.
Oklahoma
I mean,
who skated.
there's actually. I mean,
Yeah.
there's only three pro skateboarders from Oklahoma, or I don't know if Ernie's from Ernie. Sorry, but I don't know if you're from Oklahoma or not. Ernie Torres. He's either because he
Ernie
skated.
who?
Yeah, well,
We gonna
so he
find out.
skated a lot in Oklahoma, but I can't remember if he was from Kansas because he skated with the Kansas dudes a lot. I don't know if he was from Tulsa or from Kansas and skated a lot in Tulsa, but he's like an honorary, if not. But so I'm gonna say Ernie Torres, Peter Ramadetta, Don Nguyen, me, and Kyle Walker. So yeah, 5 O's.
Are you related to him?
Oh, yeah, he's my brother.
Really?
No, he's not. We used to tell people that all the time.
I mean, people would believe it.
I know,
2
yeah,
white guys with
actually,
the same last name walking at
Yeah, and we're both from Oklahoma, and we
Yeah.
lived together when we first moved out there. So, yeah, he's my dog. He's the shit. But, yeah, no, we're not brothers. Some kid actually at the skate park just like a week ago came up to me and was like, "Is Kyle your brother?" I was like, "Oh, no." It's funny, though, because I thought everybody here, like, knew now. I thought it was just Canada. For some reason, Canada's behind, man. Every Canadian thinks he's still my brother.
Oh my God.
But I'm down. Like, half the people we just still tell, we're like, yeah, that's my brother.
Wow.
It's kind of funny.
So, but like, how do you think Oklahoma's kind of like shaped and changed you, or just made you who you are? If it has.
I don't know about now, like moving back, like I don't think it's probably changed me that much, but definitely like growing up here, like definitely shaped who I was a lot, you know, like which something I'm actually like really happy about. Like a lot of people are like super against religion and that type of thing, and I'm not really into religion. Like I kind of think it's whack as fuck.
Yeah.
But I grew up in like a religious family who like is still religious, and I went to church and stuff, and so like I grew up with like certain like they taught me like certain values and stuff, which I think they got from the church. Like regardless, people kind of like that goes in hand, you know, of like oh like these moral values and church people like whatever, you know, and which a lot of times come to find out like half those people suck, dude. Like half the people in the church are a bunch of fucking hypocrites. That is like once you grow up you realize that.
Yeah.
But like growing up, like I don't really know if not being raised in like a religious family, if I would have ended up the same way, because I think I do have some like I value things that like I think some other people don't. Sometimes I'm like like that's weird that they don't like take this into consideration, and I'm like, well, like maybe they were raised a little bit differently, like so I am like happy I was raised in that. Like now, do I believe in any of that? Hell no.
Yeah.
Like I don't believe that anybody came here and ate an apple or anything like that, and no way. Like I don't think like Jesus popped up and like healed a blind man or anything like that. Like I don't believe in Santa Claus. Same shit. Like I don't know. I think it's kind of ridiculous to believe in some of the stuff that the Bible says.
Yeah.
But I do think that religion can like provide I don't know. Being raised like that, at least I was provided with a pretty like good like moral upbringing and stuff like that.
Like a good moral compass.
Yeah, exactly. And so like growing up here, I think had a big deal to do with that, because shit's different in California, man. Like it really is. Like moving from small town Oklahoma to California, like it's not really like I had culture shock or anything, because I was already a skateboarder. So it's like as skateboarders I watched, I don't know, I kind of knew what went on, but I wasn't exposed to it, but I wasn't surprised. So once I was like in it, it's like, oh, like, yep, this is just like what they expected. Like, hell yeah, there's a bunch of parties, a bunch of boobies, and a bunch of drugs. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of what it was. I don't even do drugs. Don't do drugs, kid. I smoke weed. That's cool. Smoking weed's tight. Don't snort anything up your nose. It's not tight. But yeah, but that's just like the way it went, is like, goes hand in hand, like skateboarding and partying. So I'm kind of glad I didn't come up with that around me, maybe, because if I didn't know any better, who knows, like maybe I would have just been like somebody who was just like, stuck on drugs, whatever, where it's like, and there's a lot of people that function that way. There's a lot of skateboarders, that they're killing it, they're doing all they want, but it's just like, they still have that problem, where it's like, it's not that recreational, where it's like, it's kind of a problem, and that sucks. I don't like looking at that as like, I don't ever want to be in that position, I guess.
Yeah.
And so I feel like how I am now, like I could never see myself being in a position like that. So I think that maybe like growing up here had a lot to do with that, because I don't know, people here are just a lot nicer and different. It's mellower, man. It's like you have to dig to get into the sketchy shit here.
Yeah.
Like here you have to dig to get into the sketchy shit. Mm-hmm. If you're in LA, you ain't gotta dig nowhere. That shit's gonna fall in your lap. Sketchy shit is falling in your lap in LA, like no matter what. And so I don't know, I'm happy about that for sure. Yeah, I'm stoked that I came from here. And skateboarding wise, like I think my eyes see things a little bit differently than like some skateboarders, and I think that that's from growing up in the middle of nowhere and making do with what you had, like I didn't have much in Frederick or Altus. Like it was like I built a lot of things that I skated in my driveway, or it was like any little spot, that was like, oh, that's a curb right there that is kind of cool. Like anywhere else, like that curb would not be waxed, but since it's in Frederick, Oklahoma, and I live 2 blocks away, that shit is about to be waxed, and it's going to be black by in like 2 weeks because I'm skating it every day.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing where it's, I don't know, it's like I think I have like more of an eye for like, and just more of an eye of like finding things, just like searching for that spot, because I like that a lot. That part of skateboarding, like the search.
And growing up in Oklahoma, we always have to find things to do because Oklahoma's still growing, so we always never really had a lot.
Yeah, no, it hasn't, and it's changed so much. That's why I tell people that all the time when they're like, "How do you like Oklahoma City? Like, why did you move back there?" Like my friends who knew me when I lived out in California, and I'm like, dude, when I was growing up there, like I would come here and skate like on the weekends and stuff, and besides skateboarding, like it wasn't that fun of a city. Like it kind of sucked. Like there wasn't anything that cool about it. And then when I would come back like once or twice a year. And I swear every time I'd come back, like every 6 months, like it would be a little bit cooler. And I'm like, oh, that's sick. Like they put that in. Like this looks rad. Like this is awesome.
You have like new restaurants, new venues.
Yeah. And now like it's all the time. So then that's what, like I was out there and I was like looking for a place and I was literally sitting in traffic, like on my way to look at an apartment. And I was just stuck, just sitting there, and I was like, man, why do I even want to do this? Like, I can move back to Oklahoma. Like, I know it's going to be cheap as fuck to find a place. Mm-hmm. Like, I can come out here anytime I need to. Like, if I need to go out there for something, I can get flown out there. Yeah. Like, I'm spending, like, out there, any apartment out there in any area you want to be in is you're going to pay the amount that you pay for, like, a 4-bedroom house with a backyard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a pool.
Yeah, like, for real. So a lot of people don't know that, you know, like they don't really understand of how like much housing and stuff like that is out there, where like now I can come back here and like there I was, you know, living in an apartment. It's like I had a backyard and I have a dog and stuff, you know, and he like, it was cool. And like, I love being out there. I like the nice weather and stuff, but back here there's like, I can just do so much more. And like, I have so much more here. It's just like, I guess like the quality of life is just better here. Like, and so I can still.
Can we expect you here much longer? Have you permanently moved?
No, I don't really know. That's what, my girlfriend, she's a hairstylist at Revel 8, the grooming shop downtown. Go get hooked up. Her name's Rachel. She's a shit. She really is. She's the best girl in the entire world. But I got sidetracked. I literally was thinking today. Sorry, Rachel. What was I going back to?
You might not stay permanently.
Oh yeah, so Rachel, being the awesome lady she is, she kind of wants to move out there. She wants to open up like a hair like a salon out there of her own, you know, or like, and she teaches Pilates too at Beyond. So she kind of wants to like open up her own thing and do that. So she really wants to be out there, and to me, it really doesn't matter that much to me because I like being out here and I like the whole spot thing. Like with skateboarding, the spots are different. So I like having footage from here because when people see it, it's like, oh, like where is that spot at? Like everybody knows it's not in California, and so I like the fact that people are always like kids come up to me and they're like, dude, like I like your parts because all the spots are all different. And that's cool to me because I'm like, that's what I like about it.
Kids in Oklahoma be like, hey, where's this
spot? Oh hell
But
yeah, but like
obviously you create spots.
Yeah,
here,
you don't give that stuff up. That's like one thing of skateboarding. It's like you have spots that are kind of like everybody's spots, like where it's like if a team comes to town, it's like. Yeah, there's a whole group of spots that I'll take you to this stuff. But then there's like the stuff that's like, nah. Like I'm saving that spot for like me and my boys because I have this app on my phone, where is it, that shows, I'll show you how much time, like, not everybody does this. I'm kind of a psycho, so don't think this is every skateboarder. But, so from driving around Oklahoma City looking for spots, so far...
26 hours, 44 minutes, 24 seconds. Distance, 459.2.
Wait, so what is that?
Yeah. So that was this little like tracker thing that I turn it on. I just turned it on just now to like so it talk, but I turn it on when I go like looking for spots, so it just maps my like route. So like I know where I've been.
Yeah.
And so like literally like every day when it's like raining or if it's like too hot, then I'll just be like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna go look for spots, and I just like go to different areas. Like you can see all like the red, like those are just like you just like go and like search around the spot. And, like,
you are a psycho.
What kind of app is
I'm kind of a psycho about it, but like there's a lot of time that goes into it, you know, like I really do. I spend a lot of time going out and just looking for spots. And sometimes you find a spot that it's almost good, but it might need like something fixed, like it might need a crack fixed or like something cut out. You know, we do some sketchy shit. So it might need a little bit of work to make it fixed. So I go and do that work. And then it's like, what? Fucking the Nike dudes come to town and I'm supposed to just be like, oh yeah, like, come on, let me take you to this spot that I spent all this time searching for and fixed up perfectly for you guys. Like, so, you know, it's like, but it's give and take. It's like, you know, if you got homies that are taking you to spots, places, like if those guys come here, well, then I'm going to take them to some good stuff too.
Right. Thanks for being here. You guys can follow him on Instagram and see all of his sick, gnarly, nasty tricks at Clint Walker. Do you have a Twitter account?
I don't have Twitters.
Any YouTubes?
Any Snapchat?
YouTube. I mean, you can look up a name on YouTube, but we have an account. It's called Gray Block Media, but it's kind of just all it's got is a. Actually, just go check out what it's got. It's good stuff. Check it out right now. Wait, did you? You guys aren't asking me this? I made a viral video first try, and you're not fucking asking me about this. You didn't do your research here. I was on Good Morning America. Let's go. First try. I was on World's Funniest Videos. We got to actually go on the show.
Pull that up, bro.
Yeah, pull up. We made. Actually, I'm just gonna see what you think about it.
Okay, what is it called?
Put in. I don't want you to know what it is. Put in.
I don't want you to know what it is.
Clint, put in biggest. Actually, fuck. Just put in biggest slip and slide loop. I was trying to beat around the bush, but
We don't know what a slip and slide loop is anyway.
you don't.
Gray
So-
Block Media 5 years ago.
So we were trying to like make this video to like save up for this trip
that
we
your
were
dad?
doing. Yeah. So at the end of the video, we like put a link to our like Kickstarter or whatever, and it worked. But this video fucking went off, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Was that you?
That's Clive. But he wasn't trying yet. He was trying to test it out, and he went too fast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So my neck is so sick.
Oh my gosh.
That is me.
Did the truck pull him?
Wow.
Oh my god.
So then we put the little like link to the Kickstarter at the end to try to like just bring traffic to. It was like one of those like GoFundMe type things, and yeah, that's how we ended up funding the trip, and we ended up like raising like $15,000.
Somebody said slip and die in the comments.
Slip and die, hell yeah! But yeah, so that
Oh my
video.
gosh.
We like did that just as a stupid idea. My friend Bird, who lives here in Oklahoma City, he's staying at his house here in Oklahoma City, and he was talking about how they went to a party and they built a slip and slide in the house, and I was like, dude, that's so sick. Like slip and slides are the coolest thing ever.
house?
Yeah, and I was like, slip and slides really are like the coolest thing ever. Like really, like you can't get any cooler than a slip and slide, but pretty much. And I was like, how come nobody makes like a slip and slide loop? Like why don't people do that? And he was like, dude, that'd be so hard to make. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I don't know. Then like slip and slide loop. And he was like, dude, you could not make that. And I was like, are you serious? You don't think I can make a slip and slide loop? And he was like, you're not gonna make a slip and slide loop. And I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna go back home and I'm gonna build a slip and slide loop and I'm gonna hit you up and you can come check it out. So went back to Altus to my parents' house, and then like 2 weeks later, I drew it up and stuff. Took us 3 days to build. Yeah, we built this slip and slide loop. Ended up doing it, whatever. And then after we did it,
Yeah, it's very intricate.
yeah, after we did it, I was like, Clive, you know, like more people are gonna see this than any skateboarding we ever do. Like you know that, right? Like seriously, more than it. And I was
How
right.
many views, Reagan?
I
9
posted.
million.
I posted it, and the next day.
Close to 10.
Shit started like blowing up, like my emails, all this stuff, but it sucked because I was trying to keep the like fakes that were like reposting it on YouTube because it like takes away from your money and shit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent one entire day like trying to keep like fakes from like reposting our shit. Then I realized that you can like sell it to like a company. I had like all these emails from these different like viral video companies that's what they do. They like buy viral videos and they just like give you money from like. They'll pimp it out for you. Like pretty much they just like to companies they're like, hey, we have this footage that you can use for a commercial, whatever, like we'll take this much for it.
Yeah.
And then so I sold it to them and then they like keep all like the duplicates and stuff off for you. And yeah, I just make money from it now. From that one video. First try. It was hilarious.
Wow.
Yeah. I was like, we're doing it, guys. Viral video, first go. So like the third day, the second day tried to keep all that stuff off. Third morning we were at my parents' house, me and Clive. For some reason, we were up at like early in the morning, like 8:30 or something, and my parents were watching TV. We don't even watch Good Morning America. And my mom, or on the TV, they were like, some kids built a slip and slide loop. And I was like, what? I was like, Clive! I was like, dude, get in here! I was like, what, Good Morning America, dude? Like all excited, and we went in there. So literally, yeah, it was just the video. It like cut off before the end of it, but just like a video of us just slip and slide looping on Good Morning America, and we were like tripping out because it was like so random, you know, just like
videos.
yeah, fun crazy.
Anyway. Again, thank you for being here. This has been another great episode of Backstage OKC.
Damn, I wanted that. Can I do that?
Yeah.
One more time.
Okay, 1, 2. This has been another episode of Backstage
Backstage
OKC.
OKC.